So sometimes all that might be seen could be the visuals, but then there's a bit that went into how certain words are said and how they are read that could not exactly be narrowed down into graphic design. Because when you say graphic design, mostly what someone thinks about immediately is visuals, billboards, TV ads. Yeah, so they don't really think about the script writing that I might have in the process contributed to and advised upon. So I love to usually go by designer. I feel like graphic designer narrows down, especially considering the prevailing understanding of what graphic designer is. So I usually love to go by designer. So that's how I usually address myself. I'm Alexander, designer, motion designer, and a barber.
You're a barber. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forget. So you also design for hair.
Yeah, I try to make them look better than they already are.
From what you've said, I've actually picked something to do with empathy, and that just reminds me of the workflow process of a UX designer. That is a user experience designer. They employ what we call the design thinking process. Is that similar to what you do in your workflow? Do you employ something like a design thinking process where you have like empathy as the first stage, which involves user research, and then you have understanding the user's need, where you define the problem, and then you have something like ideating on possible solutions, and you have testing, and then you have the final product. Is that something that you also take on, or yours is slightly different?
Yes, I might actually answer this question much more later on in this very conversation, but I know that some of these things we have to know because they exist as facts. And being a designer, you must be educated in all these areas and have a knowledge and understanding of what all these terms must mean. I will quote Natasha Jen. Natasha Jen is a designer and a design studio called Pentagram. It's a very huge design studio. And on one of her talks, she talked about design thinking, and she disqualified it on the grounds of real designers don't need to exactly follow these things. Real designers, what she said exactly was real designers surround themselves with facts. So she gave an example of designing a waiting room for kids in a hospital. Yeah. And she said you don't need to kind of have a whole design thinking process to just figure out what children need. You only need facts around children, and then express yourself and your creativity through the facts that you have and what can work for that. So yes, I do understand the design thinking process, and much earlier on when I was starting out in design, it was the Bible of how you approach projects. But because now you get experience and you work with different clients, you kind of start to understand that approaches must vary. Otherwise, you're going to end up giving similar results because they are coming from the same. And this might just be me, or maybe how I interpret it, but I usually want to know facts and then work around the facts to get to a solution that is unique. Yes.
So I think this is one question I should have asked earlier. What would you call yourself? Gauging from what you have studied, you started by giving us a background, then your workflow process. Would you call yourself a graphics designer, a motion designer, an interaction designer? What would you call yourself?
I usually love to just go by designer because design is the bigger term for most people that deal with creating solutions for experiences.
Okay.
So if it's an interior designer, they are basically giving you a better living experience. If it's a fashion designer, they're giving you a better outfit experience. And for me, I am a designer. I'm also a motion designer. But why I say design is that sometimes what I solve might not exactly be what you see. Because like I said, I have an understanding of copywriting, I have an understanding of sound design. So sometimes all that might be seen could be the visuals, but then there's a bit that went into how certain words are said and how they are read that could not exactly be narrowed down into graphic design. Because when you say graphic design, mostly what someone thinks about immediately is visuals, billboards, TV ads. Yeah, so they don't really think about the script writing that I might have in the process contributed to and advised upon. So I love to usually go by designer. I feel like graphic designer narrows down, especially considering the prevailing understanding of what graphic designer is. So I usually love to go by designer. So that's how I usually address myself. I'm Alexander, designer, motion designer, and a barber.
Yeah. A barber. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forget. So you also design people's hair.
Yeah, I try to make them look better than they already are.
Is this limited to just men's hair or even ladies' hair?
Currently, I'm only doing men's hair. It's just where I'm at the moment, but hopefully soon I'll be into women's hair, Caucasian, all the types of hair. Yeah.
Wow. So designer.
Yeah.
You said something interesting about script writing in graphic design. I know we'll get to that at some point, but
especially in motion design.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot that comes from script that is applied in motion design. Yes.
So, how would you describe your design style? Are you the kind that only designs for the corporate space, or you design for and the informal space? Like, we find designers that have specific niches they handle, or you are an all-rounder. And has it been evolving? Maybe you evolved from one niche to another, or you've just been in one niche all the time?
That's interesting. My design style, it has and still is an always developing scene. I'm fortunate enough to have worked in both formal and informal sectors. I've worked in the corporate world. I've also worked for, few friends who just have something small and they want to get something across. But I would say, if you ask me the question of what would I say my style is, in some meetings that I've had with clients, I've had, because they've seen my work, I've had comments like, your work is clean, but then I've also had the comment of, your work looks so clean, but when you get close to it, you actually get a sprinkle of messiness in there. And it's a hybrid kind of thing, but I want to say it's a coping mechanism, because there's a point in time when I had completely gone clean, where it was all about precision to the dot. Like, it's just supposed to be hygienic, it's just supposed to be very clean design, and that's not a very good thing, because then you're cutting off a certain clientele, but then also you're not expressing your agility as a designer. So I would say I would prefer the clean. I just tend to smuggle in some messiness in my design so that I can seem a bit unique. Yeah.
For our viewers who might really be a bit confused, like, clean, does it mean that his work like his work does not have dust, doesn't have, in Luganda they call it volongoto, or like no mistakes, no rubbers. Eh? Is that what you're trying to mean, or you're looking at clean in terms of moral aspects? I need to understand.
Yes, I understand you. You said one word that actually would be very easy to translate into what I meant by clean. When I say smuggle in a mess, I mean smuggle in some bolongoto. So as a designer, I used to be all about straight lines, very clean colors. By clean colors, I mean if it's a blue, it's going to be a very rich blue, and you won't see any grunge or any messy textures within the work. So it used to be that. It used to be white and black, and straight lines. And I'm talking about the visuals, of course. So that's how it used to be initially, and I had to keep that identity because it's what I got known for by my primary clients. So kind of shifting drastically would kind of make them feel like I'm changing. If they don't understand and are not patient enough to look at what I'm actually doing, they might feel like I'm not the right fit for their job anymore. So it's knowing that, okay, they love me for being clean or producing designs that are neat. In other words, that are very proportional, that are very, if it's balanced, it's very balanced, talking symmetrical balance and all that. And it's now knowing, okay, how do I translate my designs, keep them how they look, but give them a bit of dynamism in the sense of now they are a bit messy. Now I've fully understood the principles of design. How do I bend them a bit to meet the dynamic creative insight? Yeah.